Beef DVM's coming at you with milling our wheat into flour for our family. We use the Komo Mill and Sifter. And the first part of this video is actually not shot right now. I shot it when I actually got the sifter. And I kind of wanted to show that at some point and how the sifter works. And it comes with a couple screens, I think 3 total. Of course, medium fine. Comes with some wonderful instructions in, I believe, German. Didn't really help me a bit, but it's still a well-made machine. It's got some kind of quirky design flaws on it, but yeah, it's still a really nice machine. So this is an attachment that goes on most of the mills, and not all of them. I don't think you can put it on their really big plus size, like super plus size one, and I don't know if you can put it on any of the flakers kind of stuff. But the regular mills you can use, and it's built really well and sturdy. A few design things I don't like, I'll explain them as we go. Obviously, the fact that the plexiglass tube can come off the base. I understand we need that so that we can assemble the screens, and I'm going to show you that right now. But it's also a headache because if you pick it up by that tube when you're full of your bran from your wheat, it dumps all over the place. You need to take this thing apart, take the little center ring out of it, and then you turn it, and it unscrews. Don't over tighten it, folks. You don't need to crank it when you put it back on. And basically you can push it out and the center ring there comes out with the screen. And then you put the next one back in. Whoops, I put it in the wrong way here. Excuse me. It's got to go in so the rubber is in towards the bottom and it's flush on the outside. And then once you got that in, you just basically put back in the white wheel brush there and tighten it back down. And I'd say finger tight. You don't have to get crazy with it. And that's as simple as it is on the sifter to change the screens. Everybody does it different. I like the medium screen the best. I know some people like the coarse if they want more bran in their wheat. Remember, you can grind or mill your wheat into flour and not sift it at all, and basically you've just got whole wheat flour. But the more you sift it, the better chance that you'll have a flour that's more of an AP or a flour you're used to in the store. So that's the assembly of that. And then, of course, I'll show you how it goes on one of the mills. Now, technically in our place, we have 2 mills, so we always have it assembled. So I don't typically have to take it on and off. I have it on one, and then I have another mill to grind with, so I don't have to take it on and off. But if you unscrew the bowl and pull out your top grinding wheel, just set that all off to the side. Pick up your sifter and then take out the insert ring. Make sure the points go down with the foam. Line it up on these 2 points that are in here. Yeah, just put those plastic points in there together. It's kind of got a sponginess to it because there's foam on the bottom side. And then basically screw it down nice and tight. You don't have to crank it down, but you are going to have to put enough to get it to start clicking and locking into place. You can test it. I just turned it on. It didn't spin, so I need to go down a little bit more. It spins by pressure. You get it down enough, it spins, and you're in good shape to use the sifter. Now I'm going to kind of fast forward here after I put this back together and get to today. So again, that's kind of all previous video. So now we're going to look at today video. So as we fast forward to today, I'm going to be taking some red wheat and I'm going to be milling that into a flour. Then I'll sift it down for you guys, and I'm going to do it a couple different ways so you can see the difference in how the machine works with the different screens and how much volume you get out of it. Now, we do all our own wheat on the farm, our whole wheat and our white. And again, I'm just going to use the same quantity. Both of these little bowls that I have here are full of the same red wheat, the same amount. You can see by the little black dot there, as I'm turning it, it changes the coarseness. Now right now I've got it set on medium. I've got the machine running when I dump the wheat into it, and it's going to grind it on a kind of a medium grind. So it's not going to be really fine, but it's not going to be real coarse. Typically when you're going to sift wheat berries that you've ground, you want either a medium or a coarse. Some people like the coarse because, again, you can get more of the hull out of it and it gets a little bit more white. But some people like the medium, so a little bit of bran gets in it, and you've still got a little bit of that nutrition from the hull. So I guess it's preference, but I'm going to show you both so you can kind of see it. So again, the mill is grinding it up here, It's making it into what I would call a medium grind. And then when that's done, I'm going to switch over and do a coarse grind so you can kind of see both. Then we'll sift these. This machine is a wonderful machine. It's a solid, piece of wood and motor. It's strong. We use this thing like literally every other day. It's done hundreds, if not 1,000 pounds of wheat for us, and it's held up really well. On a side note, though, it's noisy. If I had a complaint about the grinder, it's not a quiet grinder. It's two metal stones grinding berries. But I really like the fact that it holds up. So I've continued to use the company because it's been so strong. I've had hand grinders in the past. I've had little electric plastic ones. They don't hold up for this farm family. So when you got 6-7 people and you need to grind enough wheat for them, this is the way to do it, folks. Get yourself a decent machine. Now I'm going to turn it so the black dot is closer to me. That's as coarse as you can grind. If you turn it more than that, it's not going to really grind. It's going to let the wheat berries go right through. And I'm going to grind it coarse. And I'm doing this again so you can see the difference between the medium and the coarse and how it sifts out for you, okay? My preference is to grind it coarse and sift out more hulls and get a little less white flour. We also, though, grind for whole wheat flour. We grind drum for seminilla flour. If I say that correctly, I might be mispronouncing it, for our pastas. So we do other flours. We do a soft wheat, a white wheat. We have this red wheat right now. So we use different types of flours because they change in the baking process. So here I'm going to shut this off and show you these. See if I can get them in the same color bowl, it'll make it easier. Here we go. So let's put them in the same bowl so you can see them the same, kind of compare them. So I don't know, it's maybe a little hard to tell, but the one on the right is much more coarsely ground than the one on the left. Now I'm going to put little tags in them here. Maybe that'll help you out. Put the medium and the coarse in it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassemble the sifter just like if you only had one grinder. Again, got a couple grinders, so I leave mine on all the time, but for the sake of this video, I want to do it like a person would do at home if they had to make the exchange. Remember, don't pick this up by the plexiglass. It'll come off. Yeah, you got to hang on to the base. It'll come off, and that's a problem. Also remember that when you take it to dump your bran out of it, hang on to that base, dang it. It's a dumb design flaw, but trust me, it'll pop off and be a mess. Remember to put the little ring on with the points down and then tighten it up. By the way, guys, I cleaned the plexiglass before the video. Ours is always dirty, always white, dusty looking. It never looks this clean. I particularly did it just for the video, for the channel here. So I've got it in. I've checked to make sure it works. I'm going to take it now and start dumping in it. And I'm going to sift this out. It's going to fill the sifter up probably about half full. And if you watch the plexiglass column between doing the coarse and the medium one you're going to see is going to be lower than the coarse one when it gets left at the end with the bran in it. This process is actually fairly quiet. I don't mind the noise on the sifter. The sifter is like I said, fairly quiet. It's not too bad. All right, so let's get this thing running. Remember, this is the coarse. Now, if you watch the sifter, I know it's probably hard to tell, but it's going in a circle right now, and it's kind of vibrating. And when it's doing that over that metal plate on the bottom with its brushes, it's starting to create a vortex, and that vibration is sending all the bigger pieces to the top and the smaller stuff to the bottom. And as the vortex forms, like a little tornado on the inside of it, it starts heading down towards the bottom white device that has the brushes. I typically stop sifting when I can see the center of that white thing at the bottom. You can sift more than that, but I find that the berries start grinding themselves and you start getting a little bit more bran in it. So that's how I tell when to stop sifting. Now everybody's a little different, but again, I watch the vortex, And I'm kind of looking downward at it right now. I can't really show it easily in the video. And when I can see all the way down through that sifting flour to the white base at the bottom, I'm then going to shut it off. And you can see it spins faster and faster and faster as it goes. Because what's left is the bigger stuff, which gets out of the way and throws itself to the sidewall, and the machine then easily finishes at the bottom. So it's almost done. And you'll see how much wheat flour we took out of it when I get done here. As you can see, it kind of settles down. I'll try and tap it down a bit. So this is our course. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unscrew it, and back into one of these little wood bowls I'm going to put the bran. Now, a lot of people don't like bran. I particularly do like bran. Number one, I've got livestock, so they'll eat it. But number two, we found some really good use for it. It's great to replace like a panko on your fish for breading. It's excellent in certain dishes that require it. And it's certainly wonderful for breakfast. I personally like it with a little cream, maybe a little berries. I eat it like a cereal, but you know, to each their own. So I'm kind of setting this thing back up. So this is the course now. And here you can see there's the coarse flour and the coarse bran. I'm just going to kind of set those off to the side here a little bit. And now we'll do the medium one. You can see the plexiglass gets dirty with dust, turns kind of white colored. FYI, that's how this unit looks 90% of the time in our family as we do this. For us, we make all our own breads. We make all our own pie crusts. We grind all our own oatmeal up. Obviously, we're using our flour for all our cooking, like, breaded fish and so forth like that. So this is the way we do it. Our wheat berries last us all year. Probably last longer than a year, but on the farm, they last us all year. So we've always got a supply of flour. We just got to grind it. So now I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to do the medium. When we do the medium ground, you'll notice again that because we ground it a little bit more, we're going to get a little bit more flour and a little less bran. But again, the flour will be just a little bit more wheaty. For some people, that can screw up a recipe, don't get me wrong. But once you get used to cooking with a more of a whole wheat type flour, it's pretty easy and pretty workable. Now, granted, for cookies, I really like to have as white a flour as I can. But for other things, like zucchini breads and stuff like that, no big deal. I could go whole wheat flour without any sifter, and it would turn out great. So as you can see, this is going much faster this time. The vortex is forming quicker. It's spinning faster because, again, there's not as much flour it's going to take out of it. Not as much bran that's going to leave. It's going to take more flour out of it because it's a finer grind. So the machine gets it up and moving faster. So at the end here, when I turn it off, what you're going to notice is the bran level is going to actually be a little bit lower. See how much lower that is now in the plexiglass than what it was with the coarse grind? So again, this is the medium. I'm going to take this off and I'll pour out the bran. Now personally, I like the bran for breakfast cereal pretty coarse. So for me, this is a little bit fine. But if you were to put it with some oatmeal or something, it'd still be very healthy for you. All our wheat is organic and not sprayed with Roundup, our wheat berries. So that's a big advantage to doing it this way. You're getting less chemicals. FYI, a lot of wheat in the country is sprayed, and that's kind of sad. It's certainly bleached and bromated too, which is again another reason to make your own flours. And try and show you, it's hard to show on the camera without tipping this stuff, but there is more in the bowl on the left than there is on the right. You can tell by my finger depth here, maybe that'll help. It's about 1 inch. And I push into this one, my finger depth is maybe about 1/2 inch. So again, more bran with a coarse grind, less flour. Medium grind, more flour, less bran, a little bit more whole wheaty. Maybe at the end here I'll try to move the camera and give you more of a comparison, but I think you can kind of tell that the medium looks just a hair coarser in that flour. I personally like, I personally like the coarse grind to get the bran out. I like that better. Now, this is a part you don't always have to do, but this is what we do. So both of these right now you could cook with. This coarse ground flour, this medium ground flour. You can cook with these right now. But we like fine ground flour in our house. My wife just likes it better. She thinks it works easier for her in her recipes. So I like to double grind, and I turn it to the fine setting. See, right now it's in the medium setting. And I'll take both of these exact same flours, and I'm going to switch them over and grind them down quick into a fine. And the neat thing about this, with this powerful grinder, it does it extremely quickly. So you got to make sure your grinder's running, and you're just basically going to pour it in. Here's the coarse one first. And you will have to use a little bit of a spoon or something to get it going. I'm going to turn it all the way down to the fine setting. Sure I get it going here. A little extra crap on the bottom of it. There, sorry about that. There we go. Got it on the fine setting now. Let's dump that out quick. All right. Now I'm just going to flip this on and get it going. This is the coarse one. And now this will make the medium and the coarse both equally fine to work with. But the difference is, remember, is you're going to have more volume on the medium because that one's got more bran in it because of how we ground it originally. So it's going to be a little bit more whole wheaty. I just use a little spatula and knock it in. You can see how fast it can grind through it once it's already been ground previously. Get done with this one. I'm just going to turn right around and put it back in its bowl, and then we'll switch back here to the medium, and we'll get that one done. This time I think I'm going to put it in the little bowl because I think it'll show easier here for the camera. This flour is actually a little warm right now. It's very, very, very fine, which is wonderful. It's one thing that this Komo grinder does really well. So again, that's the coarse. Now we're going to get this medium one going here. So I'm going to pour this in quick. Quick, get this one ground. Again, grinding it to the fine so they're both the same consistency. And you'll really notice that I'm going to get a lot more flour out of this medium grind just because there's some bran in it. It's a little bit more whole wheaty. Probably healthier for us, to be quite honest. But sometimes for baking needs, you don't want that. Alright, so we've almost got this all ground up. So I'm going to turn this off. Then I'm going to put it in the same little bowls. Oh, that's warm. I'm going to put it in those same little bowls. And then try to show you everything, all four containers. The coarse, with the coarse bran that came out of it. The medium flour with the medium bran that came out of it. See if I can do this here. I got to get it to fit in the bowl. Not that easy. It almost overfloods the bowl on this one. Because again, there's that much flour in it, because there's not as much bran taken out. Just the medium. Okay. Dust off here for a second. And let's switch over and try to show you all four. I'll see if I can change the camera angle so you can see it here a little bit better. So this is what you end up with. You end up with less bran on the medium, more bran on the coarse. Less flour, although on the coarse, very, very fine. The medium is still fine too. The medium is still very, very fine. But you're going to get more flour because it's got a little bit more bran in it. The coarse will be a hair lighter and whiter. The medium will not be so much. And remember, we're not going to ever get the wheat flour as white as the stores because we're not bleaching it and we're not brominating it. So because of that process, it'll never look quite as white. But there it is, folks. This is how we mill and sift our flour on the farm. Wheat berries store for months, if not even years, if in the right position. And we think this is the way to do it. Certainly this way you get your product healthy without any chemicals on it. It's an excellent way of preserving your berries so that you can use them as you need to, because flour doesn't keep as long. The berries do. And certainly it allows us to use multiple types of flours the way we like. Appreciate you watching, folks. Please like and subscribe, and that's the way you support our homestead channel here at Reef DVMs. We'll package up this flour in that container, and we'll eat up that bran. We'll have a wonderful day.